What's up, NBA squad? It's your girl Tiara on the Madam Boss Lady channel. And this week, actually this past month, November, that's my birthday month, and it started out pretty good, not bad. And by the time it was over, it was the absolute worst month of my entire life. And not to get too into it or whatnot, but I actually was called back from my vacation early to say that my mother had passed away. And it was really heart-wrenching. It was horrible, really bad. So it felt like a century to get back. I was over in Costa Rica. And it took me the longest time to get back because I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't get really good signals. The calls kept dropping. I couldn't get through. And nobody could get through to me on a consistent basis. So, yeah, it was a terrible month. So in November, we ended up actually burying her as well. So, all bad. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm actually wanting to talk about relationships, the formative relationships, the not so formative relationships. Is just what I feel about the relationships that I'm in. This is what I discovered. So some of you might know I have a pretty big family. I have 7 brothers, and I am the only girl. And with that, I will say, of course, that we don't really speak the same language all the time. And through this tragedy, things were actually a lot better than I thought. Like when people have a major death in the family, or death at all period in families, it tends to tear people apart. And I don't know if I consider our family torn apart. I really actually don't. But what I will say is it made me have to discover where I'm at and where I'm supposed to be. I'm not somebody who is intentional about being negative to anybody. Sometimes you can get different vibes from different people, but I think most people in my life on average know that I'm not out just doing sinister things to nobody. That's just not who I am. However, even if you don't have the intentions to be, what's a good word? When you're not trying to be a problem, you end up being a problem. So with me, not just with my brothers, just with my family as a whole, when everybody came together, I kind of realized that we think different. Everybody is on their very own wavelength. It's not like where would you get the handbook? It's not like the Bible. Of course, everybody can follow the Bible and be all right. But I'm talking about in life, in real life. Where would you get the handbook on how to treat somebody and how to feel about whatever? This is all individual stuff. So for me, my wake-up call came with acknowledging the fact that everybody is not on the same wavelength as me. Everybody doesn't think like me. What I would do with somebody is not what somebody else's intentions are to do. So I kind of misread that for the better part of my life. I'm thinking, if you want help, then you give help. If you want to be acquainted or associated, then you should acquaint and associate. If you give an example, if you like receiving gifts, then you give gifts. Apparently that's not what everybody's working on. And it really just took me this past month to understand language a little bit better. As you get older, you'll gain wisdom, period. Like I understand that now. I understand that just because I think I'm helping doesn't mean I'm helping. I can get it myself. I don't need your help right now. Not too many people can say that. Not too many people will say that. I will say that, but a lot of people won't. And I took offense to a lot of stuff just because I didn't understand the language that people were speaking in. So with that said, it made a big miscommunication with myself, my friends, and my family. And I think a lot of times when I give people a million chances, it makes my blood boil, but I think that way. I feel like maybe they don't know what they're doing. Maybe they don't understand what they're doing. And again, like I said before, I expect somebody to think that same way that I'm thinking. So if I've offended you, if I've felt some kind of way about, if you felt some kind of way about what I was saying or doing, I would expect you to figure a way to let me know that, if you care. Because a lot of times what I'm running into is people just don't care. And is that the right way or the wrong way? Nobody knows. It's individual. Like, the world has changed so much from when I was a kid to now that you can't expect people to do what you would do, if that makes any sense. If you follow this channel pretty closely, you'll know that I don't have a problem with accepting or acknowledging the fact that I have flaws. All of us have flaws, but everybody doesn't admit that. And I absolutely have flaws. So with that said, I am actually working on how to figure this out. If that means to step back from some people, if you can't get them to communicate to let you know how you want to be treated, then at this option, I just have to step back and allow people to come to me and allow them the space that they're requesting, even though they didn't request it. Because now I understand that everybody's not going to say what I say. Everybody's not going to do what I do. They're not there the way I'll be there. So I understand that a lot more now. It's not like I didn't know it. It's just what degree. So I'm at the point where I'm just going to fall back for a little bit and let everybody grow into who they are. And if it's supposed to be a relationship, then it'll be a relationship. But if it's not, maybe not. That's the part that really kind of makes me sad. It's like you are losing something. Family, friends, relationships, whatever. But in reality, you're not. Because if I look at it the right way, it would have been forced if it doesn't go the way that it's supposed to go. So I'm forcing a relationship on somebody, or they're forcing one on me, and it shouldn't be forced. It should be mutual. It should be agreeable. Everybody should be happy to be in the relationships that they're in. So I assume the people were happy, but apparently it was a communication problem. And I'll take my part in that. Like, whatever I've done, I have to own up to that. I know that it's not just everybody else all the time. I'm not naive to the fact that, of course, it's got to be me sometimes, at least. So with that said, that's where I am these days. Each day that you're living, you should be growing. And this, to me, it felt really bad at first, but this is really just growth. This is acknowledging some things that you did not know at first. This is an education, if you will. This is me knowing something that I needed to know and did not know, and I'm going to grow in that. So I'm at the point where I'll figure a way where everybody can express themselves or whatnot, or I'll be in my own journey anyway. Of course, I'll still be making my videos, still doing what I do. That's not going to change. What I'm specifically talking about now is life, period. I'm not trying to be someplace that I'm not supposed to be. I'm looking at too many people with this different character flaw or own opinion. I really don't know how to put it, but it's completely different than me. So I shouldn't be associating with people who are that much different than me. So it's making them uncomfortable, or it's making me uncomfortable. It's not helping anybody. So why do it? So it looked sad in the first place. Oh no, I'm losing a friend. But in reality, you're just gaining freedom. You're gaining, I don't know, you just feel more like you have more to offer, or you don't have a burden. You're not weighed down. It's not a bunch of conflict trying to deal with me or you or whatever. It's easier. Separation. And as much as I want to seem like I can really appreciate separation, I honestly don't think that I ever learned to appreciate separation. It's not a good feeling for me. It's not nothing that I like to do. Separation is hard for me. I'm sure it is for a lot of people. However, I feel like I am coming up on a point in my life where these type of challenges are really a good challenge for me. This is stuff that I'm gonna have to do to level up. That's how I have to look at it. I have to agree that, you know, even though it's scary sometimes, it's heartbreaking, I have to level up. I feel like that earlier on in my life, I actually had it right. I do. I think that I had it right. I feel like there's no end to where I could have been. I had focus. I had a lot of stuff going on earlier on in life. And something happened. I could have been 27, 26, 28 maybe. And something happened. I was already married. I think I was on my second child. And at this point, I was listening to the outside chatter. I allow people who should have never had a spot at my table in. I look back on it now, I can almost pinpoint when it was. It was people speaking in a way that, you know, oh, I didn't mean to offend you, or, you know, whatever. And what it was is that they had their way of doing things and they pushed that in on me. That wasn't my path. So with that said, I kind of adapted to what they were doing versus what I should have been doing, which is in my own path. And I can almost pinpoint when it happened. I didn't know it was happening, but I felt the change then and I just didn't understand it. But I look back about a year and a half ago, and it just hit me like a bolt of lightning. It's like, yeah, this is what it was all this time. Of course, everybody does what they do. I don't think anybody intentionally was trying to knock me off my block, but because I listened to it, because I heard it, you just don't know. Like I said earlier, you don't know where you're supposed to be. You're just trying to fit in however you're supposed to fit in. You don't have a clue where you're supposed to be. You couldn't have told the Jay-Z's and Beyonce's when they were 7 that this is where they would be. I know everybody dreams about it, but everybody doesn't. You don't really think you have a spot there. I actually felt like I did. I feel like I do. I was supposed to be, you know, a lot better. I just got knocked down by idle chatter. I allowed people into my space that did not need to be there. And because I thought that you were a friend or a family member, you were allowed to do that. So I'm saying all that to say, this is something that has been much needed all this time. I've figured out the better part of it and I'm understanding it now. I have to go with, this is just what happens. Like, if you're not growing and understanding the past, where is your future? And I understand it perfectly well right now, but I didn't understand that 3 years ago. I didn't understand that when it was happening. I got it now. So with me having it now, what am I gonna do with it? I'm gonna let it go because you learn as you get older how to move. And I'm gonna let it go the way it's supposed to go. I'm not gonna fight it. That's what we do. If it's not what we think we want, then we'll fight it. Oh, that's not what I'm trying to do. Or, you know, I'm not gonna fight it. This was natural. It should have went that way. I should have paid attention in the past. But like I said, I was off my block. And that's not blaming all the people who got me to this point. I'm not blaming nobody. I'm blaming me. I didn't figure it out. I'm not upset about nothing right now. I'm actually pretty happy at the fact that I finally get this part. What's going to happen in a year? I don't know. But what do I expect? I can keep my eye on that prize. So guys, I just wanted to update you on what was going on for the last couple of weeks. I haven't done a video in about 3 weeks, and I just wanted to touch bases with you all and let you know what's going on with me, and the videos will resume. No, this new year, I have big things planned. I'm really excited about them. I will tell you in another video about all that stuff. But in the meantime, make sure you hit the notification bell, subscribe to this channel, and make sure you share these videos with your friends and family. And you will see me in the next video. Bye.